Okay, quick one this week. This one's all about firing clay. I decided I'm going to split this task up into two parts. The first is, can I find and make clay myself? And the second is, can I fire clay so that it's a useful object? I chose this one because clay is one of the most important crafting materials that humans used before we started moving into like metalwork, for example. Clay is sediment with particles that are smaller than silt. So what I had to do was find some soil that looked like it might have high clay content. And so we're looking for things like tire treads or footprints that remain after it dries and that crackly look of the top surface. Once I found that, I took a few scoops home. And depending on how much sediment and other filler is in the soil, there's a couple of ways that it could be filtered. I chose a method where I would swirl it in water so it was fully dissolved, then wait a few minutes while the heaviest particles settled, then pour off the water, which is going to contain the dissolved clay, and repeat that process a couple of times to get more and more clay out. Then allow the clay to settle and pour off the water. Now I took another step where I poured it over a t-shirt over a bucket to do another filtering step. That's not really necessary. Actually, I would leave that out next time. What's left over is a very watered down clay, so I have to let that dry for a while. And after it's mostly dried and begins to behave like clay again, I do the snake test. That's where I roll a rod of it so it looks like a snake and curl it around my finger to see if it cracks or snaps apart, and it doesn't. It's flexible. And it behaves like clay. So I've successfully made clay. I have to say, after learning how to do this, I see soil everywhere that probably has clay in it. And so this is way easier than I expected.